Hi, I'm Lillian.
And I'm Felipe.
We are the Postmodern family.
We are Americans living in the UK, living a traditional life.
We make 3 new videos a week, so we encourage you to subscribe. If you want to, you can connect with us on social media. We have Instagram, Twitter, and you can become a patron on patreon.com/thepostmodernfamily. Today's video, we're going to talk about 10 differences between British homes and American homes.
So this list of 10 items is going to be interesting differences we found living in a home in the UK versus living in a home in the US. The first one is the fact that you have a laundry machine in the kitchen. That was really bizarre for me when I first got here because I couldn't imagine seeing soiled underwear in the same area that I would have my steak. So, very strange.
Number 2, here in the UK I found these separate water taps where you have a separate one for hot and then a separate one for cold. You see a lot of old sinks and old wash basins that have separate hot and cold. I have heard that there's a reason for that, which is, I forget which one. One of them would be cleaner and the other one would be dirtier based upon the reservoir. It's really weird because I don't know how you make warm water. Like, how would you wash your hands in warm water? You just kind of wash your hands quickly enough so that the hot water doesn't get too hot. Doesn't sound very hygienic.
The third item I found a little bit odd, and this could be just because we went to some old homes here. It might not be standard, but it's the whole thing where you have toilets that you flush with a chain that's hanging off of a unit, either mounted on the wall or on the ceiling. So when you're done your business and you're ready to flush, you pull this chain. It seems really old-fashioned. I'm used to the sort of lever from the US. And then also the other style, more common probably, is the button in a recess here in the UK. So lots of buttons I found here. I've never seen a button in the US for a toilet flush.
Number 4, the light switches here are very different. In the US, there's a very signature kind of look to our light switches where you flick it up or down. You flick it up to turn on, you flick it down for off, and it kind of looks like someone's nose. You can flick up or down. But here, the light switches are usually like pressable. So they usually are on an angle and you can either press it to turn it off or on. So it depends on where you press the switch. That's very different here, and I see those everywhere.
The fifth item that's a little bit frustrating, actually, in this difference, is the fact that your electrical plugs are like the size of my face. They're like huge. In the US, they're small like that. I've been told by a few other people that it's a health and safety measure, that they're that big so that children's fingers couldn't connect or bridge across the positive and the negative, something along those lines, but it's big for safety. It just makes me think of children's plugs, kind of.
Number 6 is very clever, and I think we should adopt this in the US, which are the electrical outlets have switches on them, so you can turn outlets on or off based on when you use it or not. It's much safer, I think, because then you can turn the entire outlet off, the ones near the ground that maybe the children are playing around. I think it's really something that we should do in the US, and I'm sure they've started to do it, but it wasn't very common when we lived there.
The seventh thing that's different here in the UK, which is really kind of silly, if I'm honest, is that your garages or garages are built not for holding cars, but for holding junk. I've never seen, not never, but very rarely have I seen a British person who has a garage use it to house their car. So it's more like a storage unit. Why not just call it, oh yeah, it's a 3-bedroom with a storage unit.
Number 8 is something that I have found in pretty much every home here in the UK, which is a fireplace. Whether it be real chimney, wood-burning fire, or it's an electrical fire or gas-powered fire, every single home has a little fireplace. And in the US, it's not like that at all, especially not in the South. I mean, that would be ridiculous, especially in Florida. Why would you have a fireplace? Most people in the US aren't used to having fireplaces in the house. And so I find it interesting that here, even in the smallest little flat, you would have a fireplace, or in a row home. We stayed at an Airbnb in York, and it was a quite small Airbnb. It was in the middle of a row home, like a maisonette kind of style. It itself had a real fire that had a chimney and everything, and I thought, wow, they live in such close quarters, and yet they still have to have a fireplace. And I guess if you think about it, back then, it was like the only way you would heat a house, so you would have to have it.
The ninth thing I found bizarre here in the UK, in some showers, you have the hot water unit mounted on the wall of the shower. There's a dedicated hot water heater mounted on the shower wall. It's been a bit frustrating because they tend to be really weak water heaters and sporadic as well. So it'll go hot, it'll go cold. It won't ever go hot. I guess necessity is the mother of all invention, and having old homes that didn't have central water boilers, if you will, you want to put dedicated heaters in the areas that you need it, but it just doesn't work.
Number 10 is probably my favorite thing about living here in the UK, is that there are no insect screens, neither on the windows or the doors. In the US, it is very popular. I don't think I know of any house that has no insect screens. So typically in your front door, the first door you would face would be either a screen or it would be a clear glass door. On windows, you would also have the normal window that's glass, and then you would have a screen. It's very necessary to have insect screens in the US because there's so many insects. Whereas here, I've only seen some flies and some bumblebees, but we don't see any mosquitoes, which is fantastic. I think that this is one of the big pluses on living here in the UK, is that you don't have any insect screens. What do you prefer? Do you prefer British homes or US homes?
No, I prefer US homes.
Well, they're much larger.
100%, yeah. On average, the affordability of space in the US is way better.
Yeah.
It's a less cramped, much more open country. So, But let's see, is there anything I would bring to the US? No, I don't think so. I don't think I would prefer any of these differences.
I like the switches on the electrical outlets. That's probably the only one, because the no insect screens, you would have to have them in America, and that would be ridiculous not to.
Yeah.
So then what do you think is the most jarring? The one that you really don't like? Your least favorite?
My least favorite?
Yeah.
Well, we don't deal with it in our home because we don't have a dedicated water heater for the shower, but when I do encounter it, I hate it.
Yeah, because it doesn't get hot enough, and the water pressure too, I think, is really weak.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's controlled by it at all, though.
I think if the water has to go through a heater that's dedicated, you probably lose a lot of pressure. Yeah, because it provides resistance.
I really don't understand the no mixed water taps. I don't understand that. How you're supposed to get warm water. Oh, I like the laundry machine in the kitchen, actually. Because
so you would bring that to the US?
I would, because I do the cooking, I do the cleaning, I do the teaching in the kitchen, so I might as well do the laundry in the kitchen as well. Whereas in the US, a lot of laundry machines are in the basement. Usually you would take the clothes from the first floor, go down to the ground floor, and then go down to the basement. And so you have to go down 2 flights of stairs in order to do your laundry. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. Please leave in the comments anything that we missed or anything you were surprised about. Bye!